You're listening to the Passionista Podcast, episode number 66. This episode is brought to you by Zalise CBD oil, which I'm obsessed with. If you follow me on Instagram stories, you know that I talk about the benefits of CBD for women a lot. This has helped me totally heal my adrenal fatigue and gut issues and hormone and lack of sleep. And since I've been taking it for over a year now, my endocannabinoid system, which shocker, is really important. I didn't know what that was before. But now that it's beginning to heal and awaken, I sleep better. My hormones are balanced. I have a brighter, happier mood. My face, my skin looks better. My libido's up. Heyo. And new result, my period is less intense. So now it's a 3-day easy breezy period where before it was pretty much horrific. So I am a huge fan of Zalise CBD, and you can get your hands on a 7-day supply, 7-day challenge. The link is in the show notes. But without further ado, let's dive in to today's episode. Welcome to the Passionista Podcast, where we believe that passion is everything. I'm Lindsey Nadler, empowerment coach and leader of the Passionista community. Here on the podcast, you'll find inspiring stories of women who've turned their passion into a reality, as well as the best coaching tips and resources so you can do the same and walk out your calling with confidence. All right, Passionista, let's get to it. Well, hey, Passionista, we are continuing our series all about money. So this is the second part of this 3-part series. So if you are landing on this episode right now, I highly, highly recommend that you go back and listen to episode number 62 and then episode number 65 to get caught up. Those are going to be foundational for you. So in this episode, I want to talk with you about some common mindset struggles that are probably showing up in your business that you don't even realize, that you are unaware of. And like we talked about in the previous episodes, one with Selena Gray, where we really talk about owning our money story, understanding what our money blueprint is, letting go of the shame and guilt that is associated and attached with so many things, which I'm going to talk more about in the next episode and how I see that pop up for us. But we also talk about how a lot of us, especially in the faith community or who identify as Christians, Western Christian culture, there are typically 2 gospels that are preached constantly. One is a prosperity gospel, and then one is a poverty gospel, and how we really associate in Christian land, in church world, so much of our identity and morality with the number that is in our bank account, and neither one of those is correct. Money just is, abundance just is, and it really doesn't have anything to do with who you are as a person, with your morality. It's a tool to be used, it's an energy, it's a relationship. And so I highly recommend that you go listen to that. I highly recommend that you be radically responsible, that you take radical ownership, which basically means pay attention to the areas that you want to push back. And do you believe you're better than people because you have less money? So that means you're more frugal, you're more responsible, you're more self-sacrificing, you're more giving. So that means that you're holier. Or do you believe that you are better than others because you've been so blessed financially? You've got the secret sauce that God's favor is upon you. And if you're not wealthy, then you must not have his favor, must not have the fruit. Both of those things are incorrect. And you want to be able to step into your own relationship with money that understands that this is a relationship and that this is a tool, and that we each have our own money story. We each have our own money blueprint. And, for me, guys, and I am for sure not sitting here saying that I'm a money expert, that I'm a finance expert. I just know that as a coach, so many women, when they come to me, struggle immensely with their money mindset. And it's the reason that they can't make any money. It's the reason that they never really act like the CEO of their business, and they stay in a hobbyist level, or they stay in lack and scarcity. And that's really what it's about. when I challenge you to move to a place of abundance about money, it means that you're choosing the opposite of fear and lack and not enough. And that you're choosing to step into a different place, something that your human brain is actually wired the opposite for. You're wired for fear and scarcity and lack, and you want things to be certain and you want things to make sense. And so when you are challenged to step into an abundant place, you're going to have to choose it. You're going to have to do things differently, which always starts with your mind. And so the things that I'm going to talk about today are all things that I have struggled with. I've gone on my own money journey, my own money story, and I will still continue to go on that. So I just want to give a disclaimer that the things I'm going to talk with you about today are, number one, things that I've gone through myself. I'll never, ever, ever teach or coach or train on something that I haven't personally experienced or walked through. And if you're listening to people that do that, you need to stop because it's BS. All right. And then the second thing that I'm going to do when I'm talking today is like what I commonly observe from coaching thousands of women, for doing this, for over a decade, for seeing patterns come up over and over. As a coach, my job essentially is looking for patterns and making my clients aware, hey, this is a pattern that keeps coming up. Could it be this? And so today we're going to talk about some common money mindset struggles, some common activities, some issues. And I've got some notes here with me. So if you hear a paper rattle off, that's what I'm doing. I wanted to write these down because they're so important, and I want to make sure that I don't miss any of them. Okay. These are so crucial for you. I know that so many listeners, if you're listening to this right now, you want to make money doing what you love, but you've got to release the guilt that's associated with that you solve a problem. And in the marketplace, if you solve a problem, you get paid for it. And there's no shame or guilt in that. That is just the way the world works. So I know that if you're listening, you want to leave your 9 to 5, you want to chase your dreams. You have these amazing goals to start nonprofits and give back and to start ministries and to help single moms and to help women that are in poverty or in sex trafficking or you have big dreams, you have big goals. Well, guess what? It takes money. It takes cash, cash money in order to see those things come to fruition. And so you've got to get a handle on some of the things that I talk about today. You've got to be aware of them. Number one, you've got to be aware of them and then put an action plan in place when those things pop up to begin to rewire your brain and your heart for different. Also, I want to say that, what I'm talking about today, I mean zero disrespect. There is no shame. I'm not like beating you over the head with this. I just want to make you aware, and I want to release you from the shame and guilt that you may be feeling because, that's a huge part of it too. But like the thing that I see the most is like women just aren't aware. Like they keep doing the same thing. I'm like, hey, this is rooted in your like money. This is a money mindset issue. This is a money issue. What's the deal here? Let's get to the root of it. And it's so crazy how we will self-sabotage, we will hide, we will under-earn, we will do all sorts of things. If we make money, we'll immediately spend it, give it away, because so much of our money issues are attached to our identity and our worth, and they shouldn't be. So there are 6 struggles that I want to address today, 6 common things that I see over and over again that are probably showing up in your business, and the root of them is a money issue where there is a limiting belief, there's something going on with it. So the first one that I see, and it is probably the most common, is the issue that happens when you give everything away. So you don't even charge for what you do. Like you have a valuable service, you have a valuable product, and you just like give it away. You don't charge people for things that you could easily charge for, or you give your friends and family. You're just like giving everything away for free because you have a belief that says it's bad to make money, or how could I possibly charge for this? No one would pay for this. And that's all rooted in like, what do you believe this solution is worth to people? Guys, let me explain entrepreneurship. Let me explain business to you. It's problem solving. It's adding value. And you may be looking at certain things going, well, how does that solve a problem? It's all about the emotional problem that your customer is experiencing. So let's say you sell candles, okay? You're solving a problem of that this person wants to feel like their house smells clean. They want to feel at home. They want to feel warm. They want it to feel warm and inviting. That's an emotional feeling. That's an emotional problem that you have a solution to. Business is just about providing solutions. So a lot of times when we're afraid to charge, two things are happening. We feel guilty or that we shouldn't charge, that it would be bad to get money from people. Or the second thing that's happening is you are actually afraid of rejection. You are afraid to ask and someone tell you no, or someone tell you that that's too expensive or that's silly. You are afraid of what other people will think. And that is the root of the issue. See, our money issues always show us what we believe to be true because it holds such weight in society for so many people. Okay. So here's another thing that I want to say on this note of being afraid to charge people money, of being afraid to ask people to pay you for the valuable service, product, solution that you provide, is you will hear a lot of people, and this is like a part of the problem. This is one of my pet peeves. You'll hear a lot of people in the coaching community tell you, you need to charge your worth. You need to charge your worth. You need to charge your worth. And that's just kind of a thing that people say, but it can really be dangerous because you are priceless. Nobody can put a price tag on your worth. Like if I'm selling a product, if I'm selling a coaching pack, like I'm not charging my worth. Like you can't pay me what I'm worth. I'm priceless. I'm a child of God. You know, it's like, no way. But what you do need to understand is that your time and your energy is valuable and that your solution, product, or service has a monetary value to it. And you need to charge according to what you have put in to doing that and what it is worth on the other side as far as ROI for that individual. So this is not about your worth getting caught up in all of this. That's actually part of the problem. Here's some things you need to look at, you know, when it comes to charging. And this actually brings us to the struggle number 2. Okay. So struggle number 1 was you don't charge anything. You just give it all away for free because to make money is bad, to be wealthy is bad, to be rich is bad, to ask people for money, to be a salesperson is bad. All of these judgments, which is what they are, all of these limiting beliefs are in the way. The second struggle that may be coming up that you don't realize is this obsession over what to charge and how you should price your products. You know, so many people actually underprice. They underprice and they're not pricing things in a way that is like ever going to bring them in any type of substantial money. Like they're self-sabotaging because their work is so underpriced. And so many people view that as like their strategy against the competition. I'm like, no way. Because if you do that, then what you're going to attract are people that are price shoppers. And you do not want price shoppers. You want people that are idle clients, that love you, love your work, that understand you, that are a part of your tribe, that are like your dream clients and are going to buy anything that you sell because they love you. So when people obsess over pricing, okay, and this is probably one of the biggest questions that I get. They're like, well, what should I charge? Well, you know, what do I charge for that? I mean, I don't even know. I'm like, well, what feels good to you? Well, I don't know, because they can't even let themselves go there because of the money mindset issues that are present. So here's some things that you can gauge. Number 1, what is prevalent in the marketplace? Like what's the going rate? What feels good to you as in alignment? Okay, now here, let me coach you on this. A lot of people will say they feel aligned about something when the truth is they really are afraid. So they're afraid to charge $10K or a big high ticket price, or they're afraid to charge um, anything that's like substantial or would make the customer like have legitimate skin in the game. Because again, they fear rejection and they fear all that stuff. So they just underprice and then they blame it on, alignment. Okay. What we do want to look at is what do we feel in integrity about? That's how we judge alignment. Okay, so we don't just like charge thousands of dollars because a coach said that we could when we haven't even been coaching for any real amount of time. Like you're not going to feel an integrity about that. Okay, so you have to be in integrity with what your experience, your results, the solution that you offer your clients. Okay, and then you also have to look at what is in line with your financial goals. Some of you have your pricing so low that it is impossible for you to get ahead. You don't even have it priced to where you can cover your expenses. And that leads us to struggle number 3. And these next two are really, really big. And guys, listen, I've done all of this. I have struggled with all of this. And by listening to mentors, taking radical ownership of my money mindset, challenging some areas that need to be challenged, I've grown through it. So remember, you're always learning from my mistakes. So the number 3 struggle that I see a lot is especially, beginner entrepreneurs who are really just hobbyists are you don't know your numbers. And it's like, you don't know what your expenses are. You don't know what you need to break even. You don't know what your profit margin is. You don't know what it costs to make your product. You don't know, like, you do not know your numbers. And guys, if you've ever gone on Shark Tank, like, they know their numbers. And the people that usually get deals can tell you their numbers right off the bat. Like, and guys, this is an area that I have really, really had to work with because my story is I had so much shame around not being a numbers person, not being a math person. Guys, I still struggle. I have to use a calculator for everything. It takes me probably 4 times as long as the normal person. I don't just immediately recall it, but I have a spreadsheet that I track it. I pay attention to. I have access to it like immediately. I know my numbers. I know how many people are on my email list. I know how many subscribers I have on my podcast. I know my average open rate on my emails, the average click-through rate. Like I know I need to sell this many each month in order to cover my expenses. I know what I need to bring in each month in order to have a 6-figure year. And so many struggling entrepreneurs, you don't even think that way. You don't know any of your numbers. You don't know any of your stats. And now I'm not saying that you need to be obsessive. I'm not saying that you need to be defined by it, but you have to be aware. Numbers don't lie. It's math. It's just math. So like you want a 6-figure year, do the math. And so many times, guys, we're afraid to do the math because of limiting beliefs. And that's where I was. So it's like, you have to know your numbers. CEOs know their numbers. You know profit margin. You know P&Ls. You know the cost. You know the expenses. You know where you're at any given moment. That's called taking radical ownership of your business. And if you have money mindset issues, you're like the women that I typically see. It's like they don't know their numbers. I'm like, whoa, hey. Are we a hobbyist or are we a CEO? We get to choose right now. So remember this, real entrepreneurs, not people that are just playing at it, not hobbyists, you know your numbers. You have to know your numbers, the numbers that matter. So when it comes to pricing, you pick numbers based on what makes sense for your financial goals. It's amazing to me. We even I did a challenge called the Passion and Profit Challenge, and that was one of the big things that I have my clients do is, hey, what's your yearly goal? All right, let's divide it by 4. There are 4 quarters in a year, and then let's divide that by 3 because that's how many months. So it's like, what do you need to make each month to earn 6 figures? So it's like, guys, it's just math, and you have to know your numbers, get acquainted with them. And like, don't believe anything else that like women aren't good at math or women aren't good at numbers or they're not responsible enough to hold all that. See, a lot of this, and again, this is going to push some of your buttons because this was my situation too. a lot of us, because we've been raised in a patriarchal culture, we just been saying, oh, don't worry about it. Oh, that's not your concern. The man of the house will take care of the finances, or, oh, that's not, it's real leadership in the home for the man to pay all the bills and to provide financially and, to look at all this. So don't you worry your pretty little head, just be a princess and, don't worry about it. Guys, that is not the world that we live in. In fact, some of you, like, you are great at math and numbers, and like you are it just makes sense to you. You're the spreadsheet girl in your home. Okay. In business, it's no different. You have to know your numbers. And like beating a dead horse with that. I'm passionate about that is because I was that person. I grew up in a home where the man controlled everything. And you were kind of at the beck and call of that. And then in my marriage, guys, Rich is like a genius. Like, he is amazing with numbers. He is so good at it. And of course I'm involved in our finances. And of course I look at it, but it wasn't always the case. I went from being this independent girl that was a police officer, doing it all myself. And then I got married. I'm like, oh, great. Because it was a struggle for me. Again, the calculators, I was never irresponsible with money or never got into debt, but it was just like a huge stressor because it took so much mentally for me because of my struggles with math. And so, Rich kind of taking that, it was just easier for him to handle everything. Well, there came a point in my business and in my life where I had to say, hey, no, I'm a big girl and we're going to talk about this. I'm going to look at this. I am involved. I do know what's going on. I have to know my numbers. And guys, like, again, this is going to push your buttons. My husband should not be making decisions about my business because it's my business, not his. My husband works in corporate America. I'm an entrepreneur. It's my business. So like, some of you guys need to like have some hard conversations with your spouse. If you're in that situation, you've got to know your numbers. And when you know your numbers and you're in charge of your finances, then you say what happens and what doesn't happen. Like, why would you allow someone who isn't an entrepreneur and isn't in your business and isn't running the finances of your business to make decisions about your business just because you're married? That's crazy. Okay. Tangent over. Number 4, and this goes right along with it. Many of us avoid our numbers. We don't know our numbers because we, in fact, are avoiding them. So we don't look at our bank accounts. We don't look at all of the things that we need to look at because when we look at them, we feel stress, we feel shame, we feel lack. We don't know how to manage the emotion that we're looking at. So it's so important. It's so important for you to, like face the truth, but stand in a place of gratitude. Okay. So one of the things that I do, I learned this from Kate Northrup in her book, Money, a Love Story. And then my girl, Selena, money boss, Selena Gray, is to have regular, what they call money dates, to make it special, to look at things. So what I do is every Monday is called Make Money Monday. So I'll sit down Monday about 10 a.m. It's actually on my Google Calendar and a reminder goes off 10 a.m. Check your bank accounts. And I sit down and I look at everything. I look at all of my bank accounts, like all of my Amex bills, which for me, I put all of my business on that so that I can earn points to use for more business expenses like on Amazon and flying and hotels and stuff like that. So I look at everything. I look what's in our retirement, what's in our investments. Like, I look at everything and I will sit, and instead of going, oh, it's not enough, I got to make more, pressure. I will sit in gratitude, and then I will visualize the number that I actually want to see in my bank account. So that is a huge shift for so many of you. If you can just get into a regular system of looking at it, just look at it. And when you do look at it, sit in gratitude and then visualize what you do want while being grateful for what you have. It is so, so key, because here is something that a lot of us struggle with is that when we spend money or we invest, or, we're building our business, we put so much pressure on ourselves to, oh my God, I've got to make money. I've got to make it right now. And like, it's lack. It's not patience. It's not abundance. It's like, oh, what do I need to do? I got to hustle. I got to do it. Now listen, there's a healthy component to having skin in the game and lighting a fire under you and burning the bridges, but that's not sustainable. So I would much rather sit back and practice the law of allowing, which says I'm doing the work, I'm showing up, and I'm attracting the things, I am magnetizing the things to me, because money is just an energy source. It's renewable. It is a renewable energy source. I have beliefs. I have a belief that it's like a core value that I 100% believe is that I can make money at any time. Like I can always bring in more money. I can always bring in more money. I have the ability to create money if I don't have it. And just knowing that puts you in a place of extreme abundance. So, like, we have to get out of victim mentality and into radical ownership and radical responsibility and saying, no, I'm a creator. No, I have a great solution. Like, no, I have not because I ask not. I have the ability to create money by solving problems and providing solutions and serving anytime I want. Okay. So stop avoiding your numbers because you're afraid of what they will mean and what they will reflect on you. Look at your numbers. Start with a regular date. So in Kate Northrup's book, Money, a Love Story, she talks about how she'll get all dressed up. She'll like pour a glass of champagne. Like it's like a whole experience. Like that date is like a true date so that her brain associates something positive and rewarding with that habit. Like if you associate looking at your bank account with shame and dread and all of this other stuff, of course you're not going to want to look at it. And that's how we get into problems because we don't know our numbers because we've been avoiding them. We overdraft, we spend where we don't need to. Like you have to know your numbers. How do you know your numbers? You look at them and you look at them consistently. Now, there's always a flip side to this. This doesn't mean that we're crazy, that we're obsessed with it, that we are constantly checking our bank account and just freaking out and like being so controlling and nutso about it and letting us define us. It's that healthy rhythm of that this is a relationship. This is a relationship that I honor and respect and that I steward. It's about stewardship. And at the same time, knowing that, and this is again, you guys are going to hear me like always share both sides. That word stewardship gets thrown around a lot and people will say like, well, I'm not a good steward, so I'm a horrible person. It's like, guys, cut it out. Knock that off. Like, get your identity attached from this away. You're an imperfect person. Guess what? There's always more money to be made. You made a mistake. You made a mistake. Move on. Stop it. Stop it. All right. Moving on. We've got two more to talk about. Okay, so this next one is super obvious, but it's just one of those things that is a slippery slope and is really tricky. So one of the things that I see women with money mindset issues, man, the words that come out of their mouth. Guys, you don't know me at this point. Listen, your words create your world. And like money is no different. Stop saying things from a place of lack and judgment. If you run around constantly saying things like, I can't afford that, or oh, that must be nice, or oh my God, that is too expensive, or oh my God, that is outrageous, or like all of these words that are downplaying money. Oh, well, people with money do that, or oh, that's too bougie, or that's not me. And you're downplaying what wealth and money and finances might look like in your life, you are missing it. Instead, we can reframe that and we can say, that's that's not aligned with my goals right now, or that's just not a priority for me right now. Or you could say, oh wow, that's so luxury. Oh wow, that is so amazing. Like, why do we have to always downplay stuff just because we don't have it or we can't identify with it? Like, for example, I am not like a Louis Vuitton girl. I mean, I just am not that into it. Now, there are some women that go bananas over it. Okay. But I don't sit here and go, oh my gosh, how pretentious, or oh, you're rocking that LV, that Louis V or Gucci belt or whatever. Because the reality is I would spend the same amount of money on like an amazing custom, like one of a kind leather bag because handmade leather and like all that is my jam. So it's like it's so interesting how we have judgments about certain brands or certain things, but you don't about other stuff. So I'll never forget I heard a mentor say one time, like, stop saying that you don't care about brands, name brand stuff. Like it isn't about having all like you'll hear people like say, it's not about, the fancy brand. Well, it's like, no, you just deem that some brands are fancy and some brands are not. Stop it. Like all brands are great. Okay. Just say, oh, that's amazing, or oh, that's so luxury, or oh, that's so cool. Stop speaking death over your finances. Stop saying things like you're broke. Stop saying things like, oh my gosh, all we ever do is struggle financially. Why can't I save money? You're only focused on the problem. Why am I not bringing in more money? Why am I not making more? Like instead we can reframe it and say, how can I bring in? Or everything is coming to me. It just hasn't shown up yet, but I know that it will. So you have to take authority over your words. You have to take authority over your thoughts. And so I would encourage you to have some mantras and to have some words that you say constantly, especially in times of stress or when you may be tempted to partner with lack. So one of the things that Rich and I say a lot is money flows to us freely and easily. Money flows to us freely and easily. Guys, we've been saying that for like the past 2 to 3 years. And it is amazing how things show up because it is a fact that we believe, hey, money flows to us freely and easily. So if we have to make a decision that's kind of scary, that like, oh, I don't know, like moving across the country and having to sell a house and have 2 mortgages and like all kinds of stuff, we have to rest and say, hey, we serve a God of abundance. This universe is an abundant place. So we choose to rest in that abundance and we believe that money flows to us freely and easily. So get a mantra that you can get behind and actually believe. One thing that I say a lot, I learned from the book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is I have a millionaire mind, or I am a money magnet, or I create money easily. Like whatever your thing is, get behind. For some of you, you just need to say, I make money. I'm wealthy. I'm a wealthy woman. Like just begin to say things that you can actually believe. Okay. So watch your words. Stop saying things like you can't afford it, or especially when it comes to expenses and investing in your business. And this is our last one. Money mindset issues will typically show up in the form of you stressing over expenses as if you're not going to be making the money to cover it. Okay, so let me just clarify some things, guys. When you're a brand new entrepreneur, when you are bootstrapping this in the beginning, which many of you are doing right now, which many of you will have to do, and in fact, I recommend doing before you hire out, because a lot of you in that bootstrapping process, you're going to see if you're really cut out for this, if you're resourceful, if you're resilient, if you have a growth mindset, how you're really wired, and what you're doing and what your brand message really is. You need to have some of that lined out and know what it takes to do it before you outsource it. Okay. So when you're in that phase, like stop stressing out about these nickel and dime expenses. Well, it's $19 for an email provider. It's this much for a website, or it's this much for that and the other. Look, guys, it's going to cost money to make money. Now, certainly not as much, especially when you're running your business online, as it does for a brick and mortar, but it still costs money. And you've got to decide in the beginning, am I going to spend time on this, or am I going to spend money for somebody else to figure it out, for somebody else to do it for me? So, but make decisions from a place of, is it absolutely necessary to my business? Is it going to make me more money or save me more time? And then how can I afford it? And then like be honest with yourself. Like like in 6 months, you should be making the money to pay for that expense. So stop making decisions like, well, I may not make the money. Like either you're in or you're out. Like, are you going to show up and do the work and make the money to cover that expense or not? So many entrepreneurs, and it's the reason they stay struggling, stuck, and broke is because they make decisions based on the fact that they may not be making that money 6 months to a year from now. It's this roller coaster feast or famine cycle. And guys, I've been there. I'm telling you this because I've done it. I've thought that way. And when I began to switch my mindset to, well, what would the millionaire version of me do? Or what would the 500K version of me do? What would the 200K version of me do? What would the six figure whatever it is, what would the future version of me doing who's running the business that I want do in this moment? Now, that doesn't mean that we don't keep our expenses lean, that we aren't looking again at those numbers and seeing what is the ROI on this, especially when it comes to tools and contractors and things like that. I think a lot of people can go out and spend money unnecessarily on expenses that they don't need to. But like we can't obsess over that. And guys, like even if you do spend money and it turns out that it was bad or didn't work, like guys, that was a lesson. Some of the best lessons that we learn are the expensive kind. So let go of that and just own it. Stop stressing it, guys. I'm just like here to tell you. Okay. If you cannot afford a $47, $97 course to teach you how to do something, you are not in business. Okay. Yeah, you can learn all of it for free on YouTube, but it's going to take you a ton of time. Time is money, in my opinion. So I would much rather learn from someone who's done it, who's going to tell me how to do it, who's going to show me. And I had this conversation with somebody recently. They said, how do I know? We were actually talking about a coaching program, her joining one of the coaching programs. And she said, well, how do I know it's not just a shiny object syndrome in my business, like joining or doing yet another thing I think I need? I'm like, whoa. Okay, so let's differentiate the difference between shiny object syndrome and unnecessary spending on tools you think you need, but you really don't, versus investing in coaching. Two totally different things. Okay. Shiny object syndrome may be like, oh, well, I need to get this bot that will run ads for me, or I need to buy this this software management tool, or I need to get, this thing to make videos and all this equipment and all this stuff. That's shiny object. When you invest in coaching, in courses, in your education, investing in your education and knowledge and skill set as a business owner is never shiny object syndrome, ever. I have spent upwards of an Ivy League and growing, it will continue to grow, amount of money on my business and personal education. I'm in a mastermind right now. I've been in one. I've been in coaching courses, membership sites. I'm all about it because I understand that your network determines your net worth, and you better get a coach. You better get into some courses. You better get some accountability. Stop being prideful. Stop thinking that you can do it on your own or that that's an unnecessary expense, that's shiny object. You're missing it. And there's a reason why. I guarantee you your bank account is not what you want it to be. Where are you getting supported? Where are you getting coaching? What's the last event that you went to? What's the last thing you did to increase your education? Don't give me that crap. Okay. If you want your income to grow, how are you getting educated? How are you growing yourself? Guess what? Those that pay attention. Get some skin in the game. Stop thinking with a poverty mindset. Investing in yourself is never, ever wrong. Ever. You are your best investment. Your brain, your ability to learn, your ability to increase your skill set is never selfish. Always your best investment. Because who's going to run this thing, guys? Who's going to do this? Stop trying to do it on your own. Humble yourself. Get some help. Okay. So that's like a huge. So like when it comes to making investments, when it comes to business expenses, one of the mindsets that I think a lot of people have is like, oh, one day, or when it's there, or when it feels just perfectly comfortable. I'm like, okay, guys, if you don't have it in your savings now, when are you going to have it? Nothing's changing. Like if nothing changes, nothing changes. And sometimes we do have to take a risk in order to grow. I've talked about this before. When I joined my first mastermind on paper, I probably shouldn't have done it. Like Dave Ramsey, old Dave probably would have told me not to because it didn't fall perfectly in line with, money makeover or whatever the thing is. But guess what? That was an incredible investment. I'll continue to see an ROI on that investment. Yeah, did I have to put it on my American Express, my personal come out of my personal account? Yeah. But it was totally worth it. So I just believe where there's a will, there's a way. And if you want to grow, nothing's going to stop you. And you need to be honest about what's really important to you, because here's what I know is that we spend money on what's really important to us. Your time and what you spend money on in your bank account is what you value. That's what you value. We will always find a way to afford the things that we truly value. And you need to own that. You need to own it. So guys, I hope that this was helpful. Go back and listen. Again, we talked about 6 things that are probably showing up in your business that you don't even realize it when it comes to money mindset issues. And I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear which one of these you probably struggle with the most, or maybe all of them. Which one are you committed to working on? And I would love it, love, if you would subscribe. If you haven't already, leave a review. While you're at it, take a screenshot of this episode. Just hop into IG stories, post it there, tag me with it. I will share it as well. That is the best way to say thank you for all of this free content that we put on here and get this message out to other women who are in pursuit of their passion, who want to build a business, chase their dreams, doing what they love. So give me a shout out, send me a message. Would love to hear which one of these resonated with you the most and which one you are committed to changing. So, all right, guys, remember, passion is everything, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Hey friend, if you are ready to take your life and business to the next level, and you want to do it in an incredible girl gang of heart-centered, ambitious women who want to change the world, chase their dreams, and build a passion-based business they love, then be sure that you apply for my mastermind. Yes, I am launching my very own mastermind. It's 6 months long, starting October the 1st. And friend, this is a one-of-a-kind, intimate experience designed to give you the coaching, community, and confidence you need to up-level your life and monetize your passions. I cannot wait to chat and see if this is a good fit for you. So be sure that you visit the link in the show notes below or head over to bit.ly/Passionista Mastermind to apply.